Hey everyone, I am Coach Linda, and this is 100 Days of Purpose. And it's so funny because I've been trying to get on for the past like almost hour now. Don't know what's going on with that, but I'm here. And so today's topic is it's all in there. Um, if you will, I'm kind of stealing it from Perego, because it's the little commercial, the little tagline was it's in there, right? And I want you to know that when you are a person of purpose, we've been talking about finishing what you start, right? And just getting started, taking that first step and understanding that you have got to do what it is that you were put on earth to do. And so understanding that many times we don't want to get started or we don't want to do it because at the end of the day, we don't believe we can, right? We, all else said and done, we don't believe that we can. We believe that we are going to fail. We believe that somebody else should be able to do it and they would have greater success at getting it done. And so we just don't want to begin. We just don't want to get started. And if anything, if anything that you remember in this 100 days of purpose, right? Um, because we're in like the last 25 days of it. So if you don't remember anything, of course, the videos are there that you can always go back and reference them. But if you don't remember anything, I want you to remember that you got it. You can do it. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to work the plan, if you're willing to strategize, if you're willing to be intentional. Remember, we talked about the vehicle, right? And the vehicle has four tires on it. The first is you got to have resources, right? You got to have resources. And it doesn't matter how much resources you have in the beginning. What matters is what you do with the resources that you have. And as you begin to become more willing, which is another will on the vehicle, as you become more willing, more resources will come. The next will that we talked about was influence, right? Which means that you've got to be able to utilize your resources over those that you influence or over those that are watching you, those that are paying attention. And as quiet as it's kept, we always talk about our haters and we always talk about those people that, are always saying something negative about us. But think about it this way. If people are talking about you, they're noticing, they're seeing. They may not be understanding, they may not believe, but they're seeing what you do. And so you have some type of influence over them and they are watching you to see if you're going to make it, if you're not going to make it, if you're going to be successful, if you're not going to be successful, if you're going to achieve your goal or not. They're watching you, and regardless of whether they're saying something good or bad, they got their eye on you. So remember that. Okay, so the more you use your resources to influence those that you have, it doesn't matter how much influence you start off with, it matters what you do with it. Okay, the next thing, I already talked about the willingness. You got to be willing. You got to be willing to take that first step. You got to be willing to use your resources. You got to be willing to be an influencer. And I'm not talking about Instagram influencer. I'm not talking about social media influencer. I'm talking about someone who can really get out there and get dirty with the best of them and get things done. Okay, if you are that person, if you can get out there and get dirty and get things done with intention, that's, you're the one that I'm talking about. Okay, so you got to be willing to do that. And then the last is opportunities. And so if you're willing and you're utilizing your resources and you're utilizing your influence and you're willing to do so, you're going to see that more opportunities come your way. And the more the opportunities come your way, the more you're going to feel like you can't handle it. The more you're going to feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. The more you're going to second guess yourself. And so that brings us back to today's topic, is it's in there. It's in you. Whatever it is that you are supposed to do, what you've got to keep telling yourself, what you got to keep reminding yourself is, I was born for this. I was made for this. I can get this done. I can make this happen. I may have to go to school. I may have to get a mentor. I may have to figure it out as I go along, whatever may be the case, but I have what it takes to get it done. I am the only one who has what it takes to get it done. And when you remind yourself of that, then you are being strategic and intentional. Why? Because you have to find a way to get it done. If you are supposed to bring the water, no one else can bring the water but you. You know how to work the water. You know how to understand the water. You know how to make the water. Get what I'm trying to say? Follow along. It's a metaphor, people. It's a metaphor. So if that is you, then you are the only one that can do it. And so it doesn't matter if someone can bring Kool-Aid, right? They still need your water to make their Kool-Aid. It doesn't matter if they can bring orange juice. They still need your water to make the orange juice. And so you've got to remember who you are and what it is that you're supposed to do, and do it strategically and intentionally on purpose. That's what being a person of purpose is all about, is understanding who you are and why you are doing what it is that you're doing. It's over and above the labels. It's over and above the identifiers. And I keep pounding that in, because people are still coming to me saying, well, I'm just not passionate about that. But that's how can I put this? You cannot allow passion to drive you, because passion is only going to drive you so far until it runs out. And then what? Purpose doesn't change. Passions do. And so you got to remember that you're not finding your passion. You're not finding the thing that you love, but the things that you love and the things that you are passionate about will give you a hint to what your purpose is. I'm going to say that again. The things that you love and the things that you're passionate about will give you a hint to what your true purpose is. I didn't recognize and understand until I started unwrapping this gift called purpose. And I started to see that throughout my whole entire life, I had been the solution to people. People would come to me and say, Linda, what do you think about this? Linda, what should I do here? I mean, sometimes it was a grown person coming to a child. Hear me. A grown person coming to a child saying, what should I do? And then they would say, you're just wise beyond your years. It wasn't that. I was being molded into this person that I am today. I was being taught. I didn't have to depend on education. I didn't have to depend on other things. I just had to let my life unfold the way it was going to unfold and learn the lessons that I needed to learn. And as I learned those lessons, as I applied my knowledge then gave me wisdom, and that wisdom took me beyond the number of years that I was alive. And so now I can see, now I'm putting the dots together, and I can see all my life I was supposed to be this. This is why I was put on earth. And it manifests as a pastor. It manifests as an author. It manifests as a sister, as a daughter, as a entrepreneur, as a business owner, and all the things that I've done in my life, as a receptionist, as an office manager, as an executive secretary. All these things that I've done, these things have manifested in all of these areas. I've always been told I was a leader. In all of these areas, I've always been told I had wisdom beyond my years. In all of these areas, people would say, I don't understand. You're only 21 and you're making more money than me, and I'm 54. So it was just kind of the way life was. And if you understand that and you roll back the cameras, right, you do the replay of your life, you will start to see that there's things that have always been there to give you hints and clues on what your purpose was, but you took it for granted, just as I did. I took it for granted. I just thought this is second nature. It's just Now that I'm thinking about it, it was just me saying, this is who I am. This is what I do. But it was giving me a hint to what my purpose is. And all of those things that I named are rewards to who I am. They're not who I am. The pastor is a reward to who I am. The author is a reward to who I am. The business owner, the entrepreneur, the daughter, the auntie, the cousin, the whatever, however you may know me outside of what you see, the coach, all of that is a reward to who I really am. And it's a way for me to allow my purpose to flow and to flow freely so it can reach more people. So everyone assigned to me can be touched in whatever way that they need to be touched. Some people will read my book. Some people will hear a sermon. Some people will see me go out and do a motivational speech. Some will hear my podcast. There's ways that they can get their message and understand, but they're all coming from me because it's who I am. I'm living my life of purpose. I'm being strategic and intentional about everything that I do. The very fact that you are watching me right now means that somebody is hearing the message that they need to hear. And they have decided, hey, let me see what this girl is talking about. But you got to do more than just see what I'm talking about. You got to start believing it for yourself. So let me tell you again, it's in you. It's already there. All you got to do is connect the dots. You just got to be willing. You just got to use the resources that you have, however much or small or little it is. Use your resources, use your influence, and allow the opportunities to come to you, because guarantee you, there are more opportunities to be who you truly are than there is to be the person you're trying to be. I said it and I'm not taking it back. There are more opportunities to be the person that you truly are than there are opportunities of you being the person you're trying to be, the person you think you ought to be. So be you. Be you. That's what you were created and made for. And everything that you need to be you is right on the inside of you. It was there from the day you took your first breath. So breathe and be. Just be. Just be. I am Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose. Listen, I want you to know that only those that can see the invisible can achieve the impossible. Dare to be you, and the world will adjust.